Hello everyone, my name is Abubakar Salim and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we will be discussing about data types in C language. Every program has an ability to store data. For example, a calculator has the ability to store data, and the data that calculator can store is numbers, and we can perform calculations on those numbers. So we can store data in a program, and whenever we have to store a data in a program, we do it using a data type. So first of all, we'll be discussing about data. Data is a set of raw facts and figures. For example, a student has a name, a roll number, and marks. So this is the data of a student. Similarly, there are different types of data. Data can be represented in the form of text. It can be represented in the form of numbers. It is in the form of audio, video, and images. And programs can store these data types. Data types in C language are set of values with similar properties. It determines what kind of value a variable can store. It also determines how much space a variable or a constant or a value will occupy in a memory. There are three types of data types in C. The first one is integer, the second one is floating point numbers, and the third one is character. Integer data type is a data type that can store signed numbers without decimal point. For example, 1, 1, -1, these two are integer values and they can be stored in integer data type. There are multiple keywords that are present for integer data type. The first one is int. It can occupy at least 2 bytes, but usually it can occupy 4 bytes in memory. The second data type, the second keyword is shortint, and it can occupy 2 bytes. Third one is longint. It has bigger capacity than int, and it can store 8 bytes. Similarly, there is unsigned int, and it can store 4 bytes. Long, it can store more than 8 bytes. The next data type is float data type, and it can store floating point numbers. Floating point numbers are numbers that contain decimal point. For example, 1.7912 is a floating point number. And whenever a program has to store a number that has decimal point, then we'll be using data type float. There are three keywords that are associated to float data type. The first one is float with small f. It can occupy 4 bytes. The second one is double. It occupy 8 bytes. And the third one is long double, which can occupy 10 bytes. The last data type is character data type. A character data type contains alphabet, number, or a special character. Every character has an ASCII code assigned to it. For example, capital A is equal to 65. The ASCII code of capital A is 65. The ASCII code of small a is 97. And the ASCII code of 0 is 48. So every character in C language is associated with an ASCII code. And every character is always enclosed in a single quote. The keyword that is used for character data type is char, and it can store 1 byte in memory. So whenever you are writing a program, you first have to decide what type of data it can store. For example, if I want to add two numbers, I'll be using data type integer or float. If I want to print the grade of a student, I'll be using data type character. If I want to measure height or temperature or something like that, any physical quantity, I'll be using float data type. So this is something that depends on the program nature, and we choose the data type accordingly. I hope that you have understood the concept of data types. If there is any question related to this video, please let me know in the comment section, and please subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.